Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this series of community outreach webinars organized by HOPE Qatar Centre for Persons with Disabilities, and it is associate partner the Lily Training and Consultancy LLC. As most of you know, over the last 18 years, HOPE Qatar Centre has been providing meaningful and affordable educational and therapeutic services to children and youth with disabilities in Qatar, aged from 4 to 25, starting from early intervention. We have a range of programs all the way till senior classes. Our name stands for help, opportunity, participation, and education. And it is our vision to be the first choice of parents in Qatar when they seek education for child with disabilities. Recently, we have formed a new company, Dalili, which means my guide in Arabic, that will have an enhanced focus on a range of training programs to enhance the ecosystem in which our children and youth with disabilities grow. Our program of Dalili will include training for parents, teacher, caretaker, shadow teacher, and even offer vocational training for youth with disabilities that will help them get meaningful jobs. You can find more information about Hope and Dalili on our website, or you can send us short message and we can get back to you. Today we are gathered here for a very special webinar titled Is Your Child Facing Behavior Challenges in the Classroom? Our goal is to provide the practical and guidance to help special educators, shadow teachers, assistant teachers, and parents to create a supportive and positive learning environment for students with disabilities. Let's begin by understanding what behavior challenges look like in classroom settings. The behavior challenges are the actions that are realized by students in the classroom. The behavior challenge disrupt the learning process, hinder educational progress, or harm other well-being. The disruptive behavior considered as one of the common behavior challenge in the classroom. It disrupts the classroom and affects students who are disciplining this behavior and their classmates. Now we will present the types of disruptive behavior. There is two types of disruptive behavior. We have aggressive action, like physical aggression, for example, the child who bites his classmate or his teacher. Also, we found the verbal aggression as aggressive action. For example, the child shouting or using inappropriate language. Also, self-control and impulses are a kind of disruptive behavior. The impulsivity means that the child he is acting without taking any consideration of his behavior or the consequences that can arise from this behavior. Also, an attention, it is kind of self-control and impulses, which mean that the child is unable to concentrate and to finish his assignment. Now we will see the impact of and managing disruptive behavior on learning and social development of the students. The disruptive behavior has impact on learning development of the student. It can disrupt the instruction, which interrupt the learning process and the flow of instruction. Also, the disruptive behavior has negative impact on learning environment, which make the class chaotic and unsafe. Also, the disruptive behavior learning the quality of learning and reduce students' motivation. The disruptive behavior has also impact on social development of the students. So the student will be has a poor ability to create a new relationship with his classmates. Also, he will has a social skills deficit when he will be able to participate in group activities and sharing activity. Also, the disruptive behavior has long-term consequences. When the unmanaged behavior in early education can lead to more serious behavior issues in the future, which can affect the student's ability to succeed in higher education and in his social life. Now we will present applied behavior analysis as an intervention program to reduce and manage the disruptive behavior. We'll present first of all brief history about applied analysis behavior. APE was created by Ivar Lovaas in 1916. It was inspired from Skinner's work to address severe challenges behavior and promote communicative language. What is EBE? EBE is one of the three branches of the science of behavior analysis. The two others are experimental analysis of behavior and behaviorism. Is a systematic approach to understand and improving behavior of social issues. It involves applying behavior principles and procedures to address a wide range of challenges, including developmental disability like ESD and also intellectual disability. Also, EBA is used in different fields as well as gerontology, education, juvenile delinquency, animal welfare, healthcare, addiction, and relationship. Now we'll present the procedures and principles of ABA. We'll start with the functional behavior assessment, which is a structured process designed to analyze the antecedents, behavior, and consequences of a specific behavior. This assessment aims to understand purpose of the behavior and providing an effective intervention strategies. So the functional behavior assessment helps us to understand the behavior, the reasons of this behavior, and what are the effective interventions we can use it to manage the disruptive behavior. Here we will present the model of ABC antecedents, which are the events that happen before the behavior, which can help us to identify what are the triggers of the behavior. And behavior means that the action people do or say, described with action verb and clearly defined by accurate measurements and analysis. And for consequences, it means that the events that follow the behavior influence whether it will occur again. Here we present the benefits of functional behavior assessment. One of the most of benefits of FBA identifies patterns. It means that helps to recognize triggers and consequences to guide effective intervention. Also, the functional behavior assessment helps to support behavior plan. It means that it's in creating targeted plans to address specific behavior issues. Also, the functional behavior assessment improve the communication, which provide a shared framework for educators, therapists, and parents. So it means that the FBA help us to work together on the same problem with the same intervention plan. Also, functional behavior assessment help to encourage positive behavior, promotes positive action by addressing triggers and teaching alternatives. Here we present an examples of ABC model. For the first example, we found that the antecedent that the teacher gives to the child an instruction or directive during activity time. So the child bites the teacher. So the biting is considered as behavior. As consequences, the teacher will remove the child from the activity area and addressing the behavior directly with the child in a way that he can understand. For the second example, we found as antecedent that during the group activity, the teacher asked the student to share a toy with his classmate. The behavior, the students begin to shout and refuses to share the toy. As consequence, the student is given a brief time out to calm down and reflect on his behavior. And for the third example, we found the antecedent that the parent asked the child to clean up his toys before the dinner. So the child threw toys on the floor and shouted as a response to the request of the parent. For the consequence, the child is giving a time out and the opportunity to calm down before returning to clean up the toys. So, as resume, we found the behavior. What are the actions that the children respond regarding the requests of the parents or the teachers? And the consequences, what are the interventions that are used to solve these behavior issues? First of all, we will present the reinforcement as a basic principle of ABA. Reinforcement mean to use a stimulus to increase the likelihood of a desired behavior occurring again in the future. We have, first of all, we present positive reinforcement as positive type, as type of reinforcement. The positive reinforcement considered as a procedure that we are using to increase the future occurrence of positive behavior. Here we present a different type of positive reinforcement. We can find tangible reinforcement, like for example, toys or specific dolls that the students like. Social reinforcement, for example, we said the good job or bravo to the students when he behave in good way, and reinforcement activity that we give the child extra play time. Also, we can find token like stickers or points. If they both, we provide prefer food for the student as reward for him. Also, we found natural reinforcement that, for example, the students feel happy and satisfied when he completing a challenging puzzle. How we can manage the disruptive behavior through positive reinforcement. Here we put a scenario that, for example, the child throws a pen to express his refusal to do an assignment. To solve this behavior issue, we have to use the ABC model. We put here the behavior that the child is throwing the pen to express the refusal to do the assignment. The antecedent that was the child is giving an assignment. So the child threw the pen as a response to the request of the teacher or to the parent. As consequences, the teacher praised the child and gave him a sticker to reinforce the alternative behavior when the students pick up the pen and starts the assignment. Here we will present the negative reinforcement, which is a second type of reinforcement. The negative reinforcement, it is a procedure when we present a when we remove a stimulus or we take it away. So following a target response that serves to increase the future occurrence of that response. We have three types of negative reinforcement. Escape conditioning, that, for example, we allow a student to leave a difficult task for a few minutes after making a generous effort. Also, we have avoidance conditioning, that we allowing the students to avoid extra homework if he complete his classwork on time. Also, we can find relief from discomfort, that, for example, we're reducing the amount of time a student spend on a dislike activity if he demonstrates a good behavior. Here we will present how we can use the negative reinforcement to solve the disruptive behavior. For example, we can find that students frequently interrupt the teacher during the lessons, and to seek attention and expressing his frustration with the difficulty of the work. We will use the escape conditioning to solve this disruptive behavior. And also, we will use the ABC model to analyze this behavior, to help us to do an effective intervention plan. As antecedent, the student began to show signs of frustration during the challenging math lesson, for example. So the students interrupt the teacher multiple times. This is considered as behavior. As consequences, what is the process that the teacher used to solve this disruptive behavior? That he will allow the student to take a brief break from the challenging task after showing some effort, like attempting a few problems. This break is the removal of the aversive stimulus, which reinforces the student's initial effort to try the problems. Punishment, here we will present punishment as a basic principle of EBE. Punishment, it doesn't mean to use aggressivity or physical or violence to solve the disruptive behavior, but we will use it. No, but the punishment means that we use it when a behavior is followed by the presentation of a stimulus, which decrease the likelihood of the behavior happening again. We found, first of all, the positive punishment as a type of punishment. It occurs when a behavior is followed by the presentation of an aversive stimulus, which decrease the likelihood of the behavior happening again. For example, we can find verbal reprimand. So, a student, for example, drawing on the wall with the crying, the teacher to him a verbal reprimand. For example, he told him, don't draw on the wall. You can use the paper next time to draw, or you do your preferring activity. And extra chores, we can use that as a type of positive punishment when we assign the student to take off the task of organization of the classroom library or tidying up the art place. How we can now use the positive punishment to solve the disruptive behavior. For example, the student frequently bites his teacher during activity time. Also, we will use ABC model to solve this problem. The antecedent, what happened before the behavior, that the child is seeking avoiding a task. So the child bites the teacher during activity. The consequence that we provide a verbal reprimand, such as saying no biting, it's bad choice, don't do it, and immediately after the incident, we assign the students extra responsibility as positive punishment. Negative punishment, which involves the removal of a reinforcing stimulus followed a behavior, making less likely to reoccur in the future. Here we find two types of negative punishment: time out, losing privilege. For time out, for example, we take a 5 minutes break from their preferred activity, like playing with the blocks, coloring activity. And for losing privileges, we taking away something desirable for the student or for the child, like screen time or playing with the friends, in response to misbehavior. Here we have another scenario that the students breaks or damage material, toys, or the classroom equipment. So the antecedent that the students present this behavior because he wants attention or access to preferred toys. So as consequence, we remove the access to all toys for preferred items for 5 minutes. So we use the time out as a solution to solve this disruptive behavior. In this schedule, we resume the two principal reinforcement and punishment. So we use the reinforcement, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement to increase the behavior, and the punishment to decrease the behavior issues. For example, for the positive reinforcement, the student is giving verbal prizes or reward every time he uses toys in appropriate way. And for the negative reinforcement, the student, when he completes his task or his assignment without interrupt the others, the teacher or the parent can give him remove extra monitoring and allowing him to be more independent as a reward for his appropriate behavior. And related to positive punishment, if the student breaks a toys, he is required to do extra activity or responsibilities. And for the negative punishment, when the students break a toys or something, he loses the access for all the toys for 5 minutes. Prompting is considered as a procedure of applied behavior analysis. It's an instructional procedure to assist learning in completing a task and it can also provide cues or guidance to increase the likelihood of a correct response. Here we present the type of prompting system. For example, list to most prompting. It means that we start with minimum assistance to increase and support as need. Then we have most to less prompting, which start with maximum support. Gradually we reduce the prompt. Also, we have time delay prompting. It means that we provide the prompt after a specific delay. The prompting has we have to apply it in an effective way, and we have to take some consideration. For example, we have to take the consideration of the learner's history and current behavior. We have to understand the learner's past experience and his current behavior to select the correct prompt and interventions. Also, we have to take on consideration the type of task. We have to choose the prompts based on the task complexity. Simpler tasks need less guidance, while complex tasks require more detailed support. The prompt has different types. We have physical prompt, for example, hand over hand guidance, gestural prompt like pointing, modeling visual demonstration, for example, picture or video. Textual, for example, we write a checklist or text to help the students to finish his assignment. Also, we have verbal prompt, like, for example, asking him, what do you want, or what do you want me to help you in, what are the difficult that you found in this assignment, so the teacher can or the parent can help him. Why the prompting is effective for persons with disabilities? Because it minimizes errors and increase correct response. Also, reduce the frustration of the students. We can use the prompting to reduce the disruptive behavior. For example, this scenario mentioned that the student frequently gets out of his seat during independent activity time, which disrupts the class. As antecedent, the teacher gives the class an independent work assignment, so the student leaves his seat and walks around the room. As a consequence, we will use the prompting to reduce this disruptive behavior. So the teacher redirects the student using a gesture or physical prompt and provide a visual checklist with a step-by-step instruction to support the task completion. Here we present the chaining as second procedure of ABE. The chaining means that we link small steps to form complete skills, with each step reinforcing to previous one and signaling the next. How we can apply chaining? We apply to teach the students functional skills such as shoes tying or brushing teeth. Also, it can help us to reduce the disruptive behavior by reinforcing alternative and appropriate behavior through a structured sequence of steps. There is two types of chaining, forward chaining and backward chaining. For the forward chaining, we teach the steps sequentially from start to finish. For example, for the washing hands, we turn on the faucet, then we apply soap, then we raise the hand, then we dry. For the backward chaining, we teach the steps starting from the end of the sequences. For example, for shoe tying, we pull tight. For this is the last step. We start with the last step. Then early we introduce the next step. So the chaining analyze the task. We break the task into smaller, manageable steps before teaching. So we have to break the steps into small steps, so it can help us to introduce what are the steps to realize the positive behavior. Here we present how we can manage the disruptive behavior using chaining. For example, the child refused to put on clothes, leading to time delay and frustration in the morning. So here we will break down the goal. So we break down the dressing routine into smaller steps. First, we will pick up the shirt. Second step, we will put arms through the sleeves. Then we will put the shirt down over the head. Then we will put on the pants, and the last step we'll put on socks on shoes. Here we use chaining forward. So for the chaining forward, we'll start with the first step, for example, picking up the shirt and reinforcing as each step is completed. For the backward chaining, we'll start with the last step, putting on the socks and the shoes, and work backward. Of course, we will reinforce as the child successfully complete each part of the routine. Discussion. Now we are open to your questions. Where? So, where?
So any questions?
Do you have any question? Hello, is there such as a thing as aggression inside? It's not verbal or physical, it is simply happening inside the child. Yes, so the child may have aggression inside. So he has because he has emotional difficulties. He cannot express about his feeling when he, for example, want to request something. So he will use the aggressivity as method to communicate and to take whatever he wants. So please, can we have the slides at the end of the presentation? Of course, we have to ask the administration if it is possible or not. Mhm.
We will let you.
We will let you know later. Also, this video is we will find it in our channel on YouTube. Will be recorded. Any other questions? We are waiting for your questions. Can shaping also use it for? Yes, of course. Shaping is one of the behavior ABA procedures, so we can use it for behavior modification and to reduce the behavior issues of the students or children with disabilities. Mhm. Asking a child to face the well as a punishment is it to be encouraged or disencouraged? The punishment, as I explained, it's not to use aggressivity or violence to the students, but no, it's just principle, a basic principle of ABA. We use it to solve the behavior issues. Just we, for example, can use the time out or any other procedure of punishment. And also, it can help the students to understand his mistake. Shaping. Can I please know the difference between shaping and chaining? Shaping. So the shaping is to break down the skills to steps to help the students to acquire new skills and and to help them also to reduce the disruptive behaviors. Okay, how to stop meltdowns and how to stop meltdown, how to stop meltdowns and ASD kids.
Hello, madam.
Hello, ma'am. Yes.
Madam, my child is 4.5 years old, and his problem is he's showing aggressive behaviors, and he cannot sit toleratively in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
While doing while in the classroom, when the teacher is conducting the class, he is not able to sit. He is running or walking around the class. How can we reduce the his roaming around in the class?
So, ma'am, first of all, we have to know why the child is behaving like this. Maybe he is facing a problem to solve his assignment. That's why he's behaving like this. So, the first thing that we have to know this, and Um, and the second thing that we have to use the ABA principles that I introduced. For example, you can use the positive reinforcement. You identify what are the preferred things of your child, and you can, for example, put it in front of him and tell him, for example, when you finish this assignment, I will you give you, for example, your preferred toys. So you have to identify the what are the most important that your child liked. Also, you can use the activity that encourage your child to sit, so it can help develop his sitting tolerance.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. How to stop meltdowns in ASD kids. Yeah, ma'am, here you can use the coloring activity and the calming activity to make him relax and to reduce his disruptive behaviors. Any other questions?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I want to ask a question uh, regarding the child I'm handling. Uh, After she makes use of escape behavior almost every time to escape from a task. Okay, so after this, and I will assign punishment like telling her to sit down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, so after that. How will I know and what measure will I use to conclude that she know I'm giving her punishment? Because after 5 minutes, I will give her paper to write, I'm sorry, please, I am sorry. Please, I am sorry. She can write it for like 2 minutes to 3 minutes. So after that, and she's non-verbal. I forgot to add that she's non-verbal. So how, how will I conclude that she know that I'm giving up this punishment because she tried to escape?
Okay. So, ma'am, first of all, you have maybe you have to change the intervention that you are using. For example, you can reinforce the positive behavior that she's doing, that she will understand that even she's behaving in good will, she will get a positive reinforcement. So automatically she will focus on only how she will behave in good way. So consequently she will reduce the behavior issues that she presents.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Majidenge.
Excuse me, there's a questions on the chat that hasn't been responded to.
Yeah, wait a minute, ma'am.
Someone asked a question about an aggression that is non-verbal, non-physical. And I asked that, can you share more information about such a child and what support can you give such a learner? Because you literally do not know, is not showing it verbally or physically. But like the person said, but there's an aggression going on. How can you handle such a learner? What activities can you engage a learner with?
Now, ma'am here can, for example, use a flashcard or visual support to help her to understand that those behavior are not good. We have to behave in a positive way, and the aggression is overcome in no verbal. Um, so we can. So maybe you can, for example, ask her, for example, to scribble on the paper or do any other activity to reduce this kind of behaviors. Okay, next question. How we can handle the children. Writing. Then this kind of behavior is a result of the refusing to do the assignment, or the student he doesn't have the ability to do this activity. So we try to encourage him to do, for example, drawing activity, coloring activity, and even when he do this behavior, we try to keep reinforcing him. Mhm. Any other questions? Yes, we are still waiting for your questions.
Excuse me, ma. Can you help us with? I have this question. I have a friend that has a student, but the student is so chatty in the classroom that you literally cannot stop the child from talking. Like he's so chatting in the classroom. What can you do with such person, and what activities can you engage that person with to make him like at least listen to what the teacher is saying? Not that it's every time you pull him out because he's so chatty in the classroom. Thank you.
Ma'am, excuse me, can you repeat what is the problem or the
The
behavior that?
problem, the behavior is like he talks a lot in the classroom. It's non-stop. He can literally not stop him from talking. And then when he's talking, probably the teacher is also talking at the same time. So there's nothing you could use at this point to stop him from talking and listen more instead of talking. There's a time for them to talk, but at the time the teacher is explaining something to them, he's talking also. So what can you do at that point?
Understood. So, ma'am, your child, maybe he presents this behavior because he wants more attention. That's why he's talking during the session. So try to when during the activity, try the teacher step by step give him attention and encourage his behavior when he's doing the assignment. Without, for example, she can tell him if you will do this coloring activity without speaking, I will give you your preferred activity or toys. So this in this way you can encourage his positive behavior.
Ah, okay. Like now, you mean the teacher should engage him while teaching, probably like do something or do not talk for some period of time, then after you have your reward. Is that what you mean?
Yes, ma'am, exactly. If he will do it, for example, he will just, for example, finish it, his activity, and he's just speaking few words. It's progressing for him, and with the time and with the practice he will achieve the goal. Also, you
Okay.
can encourage him with the visual supports. For example, she present for him a flashcard that explains that, for example, during the activity we should not speak, we have to finish our assignment. If you will do this, I will give you this
Okay.
dolls or this anything that he likes.
Ah, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am. Any other questions? Please fill the feedback form that you will found it at the beginning. It's a link, you will find it in the call message. Thank you. Yeah, it's provided app. The link you will find it in the app in the call message. How to start? Any other questions?